Hi everyone, I'm Janine, also known as Yarn and New Girl, and this is the Yarn and New Girl Podcast, my little channel about knitting and occasionally some other crafts. I hope everybody's doing well today. It's Saturday, August 19th, and I've been on vacation for a while, so I'm trying to get back into the swing of this. I had a really great time. We did a 2-week camping trip with the majority of my family, and it was awesome. It was a little debaucherous, and it was so much fun though. So I'm on a little bit of a detox now because I drank a little bit on vacation, and I don't usually drink very much, so it was so nice where we went though, and there was lots of rafting on the river and laying out in the sun, and it was great. We at one point rented a pontoon boat that was a double-decker pontoon boat that had a slide coming off of the back of it. And my kids not only love that slide, we all went down it at one point or another, including my 77-year-old dad. My dad is such a young spirit, and he was going down this slide head first and diving into the lake. It was amazing, and I wanted to go down head first too, because every time I went down butt first or feet first or whatever you want to call it, I would smack my leg a little bit. I think I was just coming in wrong, or wasn't, I didn't find that angle because there was a bit of a drop from the slide into the lake. And so I decided to follow his example and go down head first, and then I smacked my eye on the water. And you can't really tell because I have makeup, but I've got like this nice little hematoma right here from where I smacked my eyelid while I was trying to dive in. He didn't hurt himself at all. He went down like 7 or 8 times at least. I just I hope that when I'm 77, I have as much energy and endurance as my dad, and as much just love of life. It was just amazing. I don't know any other 77-year-old person who would go down a water slide into a lake head first. So anyway, that was one of the highlights of the trip. We spent the whole time, my husband and I have a tent trailer, which I talked a little bit about on my last episode because I was making new curtains for it, which I got them done, thankfully, and they look so great. I did post it's kind of a dark video on my Instagram of sort of a tour of the tent trailer with the curtains up. So if you want to see what they look like, that's on my Instagram feed, which is, by the way, you can find me on Instagram as Yarn and You. I am on Ravelry as Yarn and You Girl, and the website is yarnandyou.com. Let's see if there's anything else. Oh, also the podcast has a Ravelry group page. We don't have a lot going on that page. I'm not super chatty, but I host giveaways on there, and I usually put show notes up on there as well. So I am going to be doing a giveaway, or not a giveaway, excuse me, a knit along coming up here. So I wanted to kind of give you guys a heads up on what's going to go on with that. And that's where I'll put all that stuff, and that's where you can enter to win any prizes or things that I do along the way. I did want to also let you guys know that my Yeksa shawl has been released. It is available on Ravelry for $5. It is called the Yeksa shawl, and it is that 2-color shawl. I don't have it, of course, in front of me. I took my mannequin out of the room because I was trying to clean up for when I was on vacation. I had a friend coming by if I got an order, and she was going to be packaging things up. Usually this room is a trash bin. Like everything from here up looks really, really nice, but then on the floor gets kind of crowded with stuff. And so I had, the mannequin in here and all these other things, and I moved stuff out of the room. So I don't have the Yeksa shawl in front of me. I think I have a copy of the pattern. I can show you guys. So that is my Yeksa shawl. It is available. Sorry about the glare. It is available on Ravelry now. And there are multiple different podcasters who are giving away copies. So I will try to put a list in the show notes about who's all the podcasters, because there's quite a few. I can't remember all of them just off the top of my head. I know, the Flame and Fiber podcast is doing one. The Simply Stashless podcast is doing one. Downseller Studio podcast is doing a giveaway. And there's Lucky Jenny Knits, she'll do one. I don't think she's posted about it yet, but and then the Mean Girls, and there's quite a few others. I can't remember all their names. So I will post a list for you guys. If you want to try to win a copy, please be sure to check out all those podcasts. They're really great. So that's the Yeksa shawl. I am going to be knitting up another one. I dyed up another colorway that I think will work well together before I went on vacation, but I haven't had a chance to wind it up. And so I think I will be casting on again for that. But currently I've got lots of other things on the needles, because when you go on vacation for a while and you haven't podcasted in a while, you've got lots of new projects to show everybody. And I have lots of new yarn that I've purchased too. So I think let's move in to the knit along news. So I wanted to start to get into the holiday spirit, the gift giving spirit, because it is starting to get around that time where we start thinking about knitting or crocheting for family or friends for the holidays. So I thought it would be really cool to do a gift along cal, so a gal cal. And what it's going to entail is going to start September 1st, and it's going to go all the way to December 25th, because I think most of the holidays end Christmas. I don't think there's any holiday, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't think there's any holidays past Christmas, but we're going to go up to December 25th. And to qualify, you can post anything as long as you are planning to gift it to someone for a holiday, one of the major holidays at the end of the year. So whether it's Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever, that is totally acceptable. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be a certain size. You can do multiple entries, totally fine. You can double dip if there's other knit-alongs going on. I am even going to allow whips, because I have a couple in my stash that I need to pick back up again and start working on. And so I want to make sure, I'm sure there's other people who've already started gifts and then put them down because they got distracted by something else. So whips are allowed. And I will have a chatter thread and a finished objects thread in the Ravelry group where you can post all of your gifts. And for every gift you make, you get a new entry into the for the giveaway. So I do have one prize I'm planning. I think I showed you guys this last podcast. It's this was gifted to me as a potential, either I keep it for myself or I give it away. And I decided I'm going to give it away because it's kind of an all-in-one sort of thing. So one of you guys will get this package here, which is a sock pattern called Lover's Knot by Sylvia Harding. And then a skein of Knitted Wit in color Lover's Knot. And I think it's Kashi sock, which is the cashmere merino nylon base. Yeah, Kashi wool, excuse me. So 4 ounces, 400 yards, 70% superwash merino, 20% cashmere, 10% nylon in this beautiful rich red color. And then there are also some beads in there because the Lover's Knot pattern has a little bit of beading on the leg. So that's going to go to that's going to be one of the prizes. And then I will have other prizes as well. I don't have anything currently at the moment besides that, but if you are a maker and you want to donate something, please feel free to get in touch with me. I would love to talk about your stuff on the show and give some stuff away. So that is starting, like I said, this September 1st, and anything goes as long as it's knit for someone else, not yourself, and it is for one of the upcoming holidays. All right? So, moving on. Finished objects. I have 2 finished objects and a half object. The first pair is a pair of socks. It's my July socks. I finished these pretty much in the nick of time. I think I had a couple days where I still had a little bit of leeway, so it was good. I finished them on time. They are my Scatterby socks, and the yarn is the Wonder Woman colorway, and it's junk yarn, and it's a special club yarn that she's doing. I should be getting one more installment, and it's all about like super women or superhero action women. So this first one was Wonder Woman, and so I did these socks. My son calls them my Lego socks. I do have quite a bit more of this multi. I think I might try to make him a pair of shorty socks. He really, really liked this color. It reminds him of Legos. He's in love with Legos, so I might make him a pair of socks for that. Scatterby is a free pattern. I don't know the name of the designer because I wrote show notes today, guys. I did, I swear. They're downstairs. It's been crazy. We got back on Wednesday, and I was going to podcast on Thursday because I was like, oh, I have to get it in. Like, I'm already 3 weeks past, when I normally do it. I'm coming up now. Like, this upcoming Tuesday would have been 4 weeks. So I was like, oh, I have to podcast. Well, I didn't want to do anything on Thursday. We drove all the way home from California on Wednesday, and it in itself was a 9-hour drive. But, you have kids. You have to make stops. And then we got into Portland right at rush hour, which if you live in the Portland area and you're trying to commute to Washington in a certain period in the day, it's awful. So from about, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, sometimes to about 7, the traffic getting into the state of Washington on I-5, which there's only 2 ways to get across. There's 205 and there's I-5. And both of those options were, really long wait. We got in at about 5:30 into Portland, and we're like, yeah, we're never getting, it's going to take us another hour and a half to just get home if we stayed on the road. So it'd take us the same amount of time if we stopped, had dinner, and then got on the road, because by that time it'd be, a 20-minute drive. So we stopped, we had dinner, and did not get home until about 8 o'clock. So it's pretty late. And we left at 7 in the morning. So it was a long day. And on Thursday, I needed to do a bunch of stuff like laundry and all that other stuff you got to do. And I just didn't want to do it. I wanted to podcast. I didn't podcast. I sat on the couch pretty much all day and knit on stuff. Just kind of knit on stuff. It was great. Watched television. Because I haven't watched television in weeks. I watched some podcasts. I caught up on some of the podcasts that I haven't seen in a long time. So I felt very good in that respect. But we weren't doing anything Thursday. It was pretty lame. So, and then I worked yesterday. So today I'm podcasting, and I'm a little, I don't have all my organizational skills together today, but when do I ever? So Scatterby socks, free pattern on Ravelry. It's a slip stitch pattern. I did toe up. The pattern is for toe up, but she has you do the pattern all the way around the leg. I didn't do that. I just did it on the front because I really liked the way the stockinette showed the color here. So I wanted to keep that as much as possible. I felt like the color got a little lost or in the pattern a bit, or the pattern got a little lost in the color, but anyway. And the little yellow was the contrasting mini that came with the Wonder Woman sock yarn. So that is my first finished objects, my July socks. So those got done in time. And then I started August 1st. I started my August socks. And I've already gotten those finished as well. So I felt pretty accomplished with that. I did a new technique on my August socks. So I'm going to wrap these up, put these in my little sock box, and then I will show you guys my August socks. My sock box, guys, is getting pretty full. I think it's almost there, and it's so funny because I don't know if I told you guys about my sock box. When I showed it to you guys, I was like, oh, and it's got some French on the side, and then one of my lovely viewers pointed out that the French on the side means Merry Christmas. And I bought it in the middle of July, so it's actually quite, it'll be appropriate for the end of the year. And I don't, I might end up doing something. But I have 10 pairs in here now. There goes that one. 10 pairs of socks, and it's only August. And then with my August pair of socks, I'm going to have 11. I just need one more, and I'll hit the jackpot. So let me put my August socks on the sock blockers. I used my Knit Picks Felici in the toucan color for my August socks. I also talked about this yarn a while back because I had ordered one skein. I've never knit with Knit Picks Felici before. I, for some reason, didn't realize that they were only 50 grams of yarn per skein. So I ordered one, and then it was out of stock in the toucan, so I ended up bugging somebody on Ravelry to sell it. Theirs to me turned out to be the exact same dye lot, which worked out great, but the one ball of yarn was inversely wrapped. So the colors ended up, when I was pulling from the middle, I started with the same color, and I did toe up, and these are a little bit long, but I'll tell you why. So I did toe up, started with the same color, but one ball of yarn, this one, went purple, dark yellow, you can't remember, light yellow, light blue, turquoise, dark purple. And then the other one went purple, dark purple. So just in the reverse order, all the way up to the lavender. So I actually thought that was such a cool look that I decided I would continue. That didn't bother me at all. So this is the toucan colorway. I did toe up, and I did an afterthought heel. This is the first time I've ever done an afterthought heel. It was, wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. I used the Kirby Werby tutorial. They're a little long because I wanted to place my heel between a stripe, and I marked it a little bit further than I normally would have, I think. So they're a little big, but that's okay, and they're too big for my sock blocker for sure. The only thing I'm not thrilled about with the afterthought heel, I mean, I liked the idea of it, is my Kitchener sometimes gets pretty tight. So sometimes there's a ridge on the Kitchener on my toe, which it doesn't bother me on the toe, but it might bother me here. I'm not sure. And I don't know if I like that double decrease on the side. I really like the Fish Lips Kiss heel look. So I might not do another afterthought heel, but I did really like the construction of it, and I did enjoy learning something new. So that was super cool. So these are my August socks. I have to post them with the knit along, and then I'll be official. So I'm very excited though about that and I really enjoyed the Knit Picks Felici. The only thing about that yarn too, I will have to say, is I felt like it was very splitty at some points, and I dropped stitches quite a bit, and I don't know if that's because it was all of a vanilla sock, and so I wasn't really super careful, but I would go through and I would, I think I would notice that, not that I dropped, but that I'd only grabbed like one of the strands in, and then it'd be like hanging there by the thread, and I'd have to fix it and make sure I picked up the rest of the strands. And I did that quite a bit. And like I said, I don't know if that's just me or what, but that is pair 11. So my box of socks is getting pretty full. So exciting. So cool. Lots of stripes this year. I don't normally do stripes, but I have lots of stripes this year, I feel like. And I really, really am happy with my accomplishment. Lots of good stuff. So my other, my half object, let me see if I can find it here. Oh, is a sock, which you guys have seen it mostly. I just needed to finish the cuff last time I talked to you guys. So and I haven't woven in the ends yet because this is my Harlequino sock, hiccup. And let me get this on the sock blocker. The yarn is Arn and Carlos, so Regia, Arn and Carlos. And I finished, last time I showed it to you guys, I hadn't done the cuff here. I'd done everything else. I don't know if I've woven in the ends on the inside, if I just didn't weave in that cuff. I have to check it out. But I need to start my second sock because this is the coolest sock ever. So these are the ones that you construct in diamonds and then add together. They're a little complex, but super cool the way they turned out. I really, really like them a lot. So, yeah. That is a half object that's done as well. Lots of socks today, guys. I wonder if I wove in those ends. There's a lot. Nope. There's a lot of ends to weave in. So the Regia is a 75% virgin wool and 25% polyamide. And it's a little rough, but I don't mind. Rustic wool doesn't really bother me all that much. So, unless it's like on my neck, then it bothers me a little bit. But this is not going on my neck. So that is a half object. Super excited about that. Super excited to be having a few things to show you guys today that are actually finished. And I don't even think you guys even saw my Knit Picks Felici socks until today. I didn't have them started, obviously, at the last podcast because they were for August. So that's all I have for finished objects. I have a few new works in progress and a couple that I'm continuing to work on. I did I'm on my breathing space sweater. I did 3 rows of an arm, and then I didn't bring it with me on vacation because it was really big, and I was trying to bring multiple little projects. Speaking of, I wanted to make myself a project bag too, and I love that canvas that I used for my tent trailer curtains. So I decided, I'm going to make myself a drawstring bag. I was going to model it off of this one that I got, that I showed you guys last time. So I sort of modeled it off this idea where it had a different color on the inside, and that color came up here, and then it was a drawstring, and it had this little handle, and all that good stuff. So I cut some fabric out, and I wanted it to be big too because I wanted it to be able to carry a sweater. So, yeah, I think I made it a little too big. And I also posted this on Instagram too because I was just it's ridiculously big. But it's so cute. I love it. So, this is the drawstring bag that I made. And look at this difference. What was I thinking? That is not even close at all. This is 3 or 4 of these. So when I went camping, I was like, well, I'm going to bring this, and it's going to hold all my other projects because this is ginormous. So I had this bag in there. I had you so-and-so bag in there. I also had this cupcake bag with a project in there. I had my little notions pouch from Bags by Awesome Granny in there because I had to have all my notions. I had my Stitch and You bag in there. And did I have another one? I think I had another one. Oh yeah, I did have another one. It's right here. And then I had this awesome bag. This was gifted to me by one of my amazing friends, Amelia. She sent me this, and I love this bag, and so I packed this bag too. It is a nice big size. She knew I was looking for a sweater bag, and so I think I could totally fit a sweater in here. Right now I'm using it to hold, I was using it to hold my socks, and then I had some extra yarn in there in case I wanted to make another pair of socks. And so this bag was also in this giant, this is like, my husband called this the TARDIS of knitting bags. It's really dirty right now too, like I need to wash it, but it is huge, and it could fit probably like 3 more project bags in here. It was crazy. It just kept coming. They just kept coming out. Like every time I tried to, there were just more and more I could put in there. And oh my gosh, I don't know how I ended up making it so big. I don't know what I was thinking. It's crazy, but I really like it. And it would be perfect for like a laundry bag. It's got this nice, I made a nice sturdy handle, and I did, a drawstring, and I just love the navy blue with then the red polka dot inside. Like, I had so much fun with that. I do have a little bit left of this fabric. I might make a smaller one, maybe to sell. I'm not sure, so keep your eyes out for that if I have time. It's so funny, though, because I was doing all that sewing on the curtains, and my kids, I have 2 boys, they saw how much fun I was having doing it, and they were like, can we use your sewing machine? And I let them in the past use my other sewing machine. I had another one. It was kind of ghetto, and but this was a new one, and I didn't want them to ruin it or whatever. They're young, they're boys, they don't really think about handling things nicely. They're like bowls in china cabinets sometimes. But I was like, okay, you guys can totally, let me show you how to use it, and then you guys can use it. And they went off on it. Like they have been sewing, at least before we left, for like 2 days straight. They were taking all of my extra fabric and making little pillows for their stuffed animals, and bedding for their stuffed animals, and clothes for their stuff. I mean, it was so cute and so awesome to see them, and also like a good way to use up all my extra scraps of fabric. They did cut into some of the fabric that I was saving for something else, but I tried not to get too mad at them because they were having a really fun time with it, and I was really excited that they were excited about doing that. So anyway, so works in progress. Did I show you guys any? I don't think I showed you guys anything yet. So let's go. The first one I have is something I'm doing for another knit along. There are so many knit alongs going on right now. So I signed up for the Pen Pal Cal that Lucky Jenny Knits is doing along with Candy from Paws for Stitches. And you signed up, the signups are closed now, but you signed up for a pen pal, basically. And then the idea is to get to know that person either via internet, an email, or snail mail. My partner and I decided we wanted to actually write letters, and so we've exchanged some emails and our addresses and stuff, and I got a letter from her the other day, and I sent her a little postcard, and I just mailed out another letter to her yesterday, so that's been really fun. And the knit along portion of it is going all the way, I think, until the end of the year. This part is just like where you can get points for knitting certain things. So, and then you and your partner accumulate points, and then that enters you to win certain things. I don't know. So this one it started on August 15th. I was hoping that it would start, that my August socks would count, but they don't, because I knew it was going to be a sock knit along. But my August socks got done, like on the 15th. So I couldn't, or no, it was whenever we drove home, the 16th. So I couldn't really say like, oh, I can put those in there, because that's not fair. I didn't start them. I mean, they were done pretty much on the 16th. So I had to start a new pair of socks because I needed to have some socks for this knit along so I could represent my side. I might not do super well, partner, on the point tallying, but I'm trying. So definitely got some socks started for that. There's extra points, so you get 1 point per sock, and then an extra point if it's a pattern sock, and then some other things. If you do color work, you get extra points. And if you make a pair for your partner, you get another certain amount of points. And so I started a pair of socks. I am doing the Hermione's Everyday socks again. And this is for that Pen Pal Cal, but also for the Harry Potter Yarnaholics Cal that's going on with Jenny from Lucky Jenny Knits, Lacey from the Knitted Cupcake, and then a couple other makers like Sunshine and Bubblegum, the Perfect Stitch, and one other one. I don't remember. Dang it. It was like a stitch marker maker, and it's driving me crazy. I can't remember. I wrote it down in my notes downstairs, but I'm not going all the way down there. I'll put it in the show notes. And I promised I will have show notes this time. I think I'm going to try to do them actually in the YouTube info box down below, and also then on the website and on the Ravelry page. So anyway, so for this Harry Potter Yarnaholic one, you get extra entries for whether it's a Harry Potter themed project, yarn, whatever. So I'm doing Hermione's Everyday socks in the I showed you guys this yarn the other day. This is sorted by Yarn Diet, and it's the house colors. So Slytherin, Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, and Hufflepuff. And I saw Dream and Fiber doing this because this is Erica Luder's free pattern Hermione's Everyday Socks, and she's Dream in Color, I believe, on Instagram. And so she was doing her Hermione's Everyday sock in this color as well, and I just really liked the look of it. I thought that was cool. I ended up doing a twisted rib on the cuff. I thought that's what the pattern had called for, but it doesn't. But, I don't care. I like the twisted rib. It looks nice. It's nice and stretchy. And then I'm almost done. I figured I'd go the leg through the Hufflepuff colors again, so then I'd have 2 repeats of the color, and then I'll start the heel and do the foot. So I'm doing them one at a time. This Yarn Diet sorted, it's her 80-20, so 80 superwash merino, 20% nylon. It's a bit rough. Not really the softest, but, it's really beautiful colors, and I like how it's striping up, and I don't mind that it's not, uber soft. So, Hermione's Everyday sock. I like this sock a lot. I think I will actually use the heel that she put in because I do like that part. I have partridge heel, and the way she does her edging on the heel for picking up stitches, I really like that as well. So I will do that, I think, on those. So that's that. And then I am working on my Sizzle Pop shawl. I did do some. I didn't do a ton because most of when I was on vacation, I was knitting on the socks because they were plain vanilla and easy to think about. But I did do some of my Sizzle Pop shawl, and I'll show you guys where I was when I last showed it. So this is what I got so far. I was here, and so I've only done, maybe that's 2.5, 3 inches maybe. But it's growing. I love it. It's actually inspiring me to design something with brioche. Like, I really, really like how this is coming out. So I have some ideas about how I want to do, how I'm thinking I'll do a design with a little bit of brioche. So that might be kind of fun. I think it might be in worsted. I have to talk to, there's a yarn company that I've talked to a little bit about collaborating with and doing a design for them in their worsted weight. So I think I'm going to email her and see what she thinks of my idea and if she'd be willing to provide yarn support or whatever for that design. And I'll use her yarn, I think, for it. So anyway, that's a Sizzle Pop shawl. I really, really love it. I love how squishy it is. And of course, my sister saw it and she's like, can you make me something like that? That is so amazing. And I'm like, you need to learn how to knit. But anyway, see, I've got to have this gift along to inspire me to knit for others. No, I told her that I would try to do something like that for her. I think she might end up getting my first prototype for this design I'm thinking of. So that's the Sizzle Pop shawl. I also started, that one always sticks. I also started a hat. So I told you guys also a while back, my sister's mother-in-law, she had this lacy beret. Sorry, I gotta get it out of my TARDIS here. She had a lacy beret that she loves, and it looks like this. It's all squished, unfortunately. So it's like, this is her. Just this lacy mohair beret. And she had asked my sister if I would be willing to knit her another one. And so my sister brought over yarn and was like, so Diane was hoping that you would do this. And so I said, okay, I would. She gave me her old hat so I could kind of pattern it off of it. I am using Cascade. She brought me the yarn too. It's Kids Silk. God, you guys, I'm horrible. Here it is. Kids Seta Noir. Color is just a number. Shade 21. It's just this blue lacy. It's 60% Super Kid mohair, 22% silk, 11 nylon, 5 polyester, and 2% metallic. It's 25 grams gain. And so I counted, kind of looked at her hat and did some counting and figuring out. And I think I got it right, hopefully. You won't be able to see I don't even know if it'll be the right size. I'm really hoping it will be. I think I'm close. I've been increasing here. So the hat looks like you start with this brim and then it increases for a bit. I can't quite figure out how many stitches it increases to because the holes on the pattern are so wonky and it's hard to tell which row is which. But I think I'm going to increase. I'm almost done with the increases. And then you just start decreasing to the crown. And so it's this very flat beret style hat. So I am almost done with the increases. And I think, I'm hoping my gauge, like I said, it's really hard. And this yarn is ridiculous. I don't really enjoy working with it. It's slippery. And it falls off the needles. And if you have to rip back, it's ridiculous because it's very hairy and catches on everything. And I'm having a hard time because I can't see, because it's so little, I can't see where my increases are supposed to go. Usually I can tell where my increases are, and then I don't have to, I can just read the knitting and say, oh, the increase is supposed to go here. But instead what's happening is I'm having to count every time I do the row. And then I am like losing track and putting increases. So I've had to tink quite a bit. I've had to rip out quite a bit. And like at the beginning, I did a single. I just used one strand of yarn for the brim, but her brim's pretty thick. And I think I almost think they used like 3 strands of yarn held together. I ended up doing 2. So I ripped back my brim because I was originally going to try to do a folded brim, but I didn't like that look. So I held 2 strands together, but ripping back, it was almost impossible. It kept getting caught up on itself, and it was just, so it's kind of bumming me out a bit. But so she had sent me she sent me the yarn, and then I set it aside for a while. And then I got a little note in the mail from her that was like, thank you so much for considering making my hat, and here's a check, and I hope that you'll accept this, and blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, well, now she sent me money. I really have to do this. So I started it, and I'm working on it, and I'm hoping that I will have it done soon. It shouldn't take me very long. It's just very frustrating, this wool, this yarn is extremely finicky. I don't really enjoy working with it. It would probably be fine if it was held double with like a wool or something, even just a fingering, but it's so weird on its own that I just don't really like it. So but that's okay, because like I said, I'm almost done with the increases, so that's obviously the worst part. I'm hoping, God, cross your fingers, guys, that it actually turns out to be the right size, because I'm not going off of a pattern. I'm just going off of her old hat and trying to make a pattern out of it, and we'll see how that works. So anyway, I'm doing that also on a size 4, I believe, a US size 4. I had some Addies, the turbos, but their tips are so stinking blunt. I hate the Addie turbos so much. I bought these a long time ago. You need to get the ones that are like the pointy tips. Like the blunt tips are extremely difficult to work with when you're doing decreases and increases. It was so frustrating, so I switched out. I will probably end up having to use this when I get to the crown again, because I'll obviously need to put it on to 2 needles or double points or something, but I don't have double points in that size, so I'll just use 2 circulars. But anyway, so that's my classic beret that I'm doing. No pattern, just my own brain trying to figure it out. If it turns out okay, I might write it up as a free beret pattern for people who like to work with mohair and lace and stuff. It would be, I mean, it's a cute hat. it's not my favorite thing to work with right now. But I'm doing it. So that's one of my other works in progress. And then the last one, oh, I don't have a picture of it. Dang it. Well, it's called the Walt Chevron blanket, and I decided I needed a new blanket. My old blanket is on the couch. It's a little ratty, and this one I thought would be really pretty. It's this free pattern, and again, I'm not remembering the name of the designer because that's just too hard for me to remember right now. I wrote it down again, but it's downstairs. So I will put that in the show notes too. I don't have very much on it, but it's a chevron blanket. It's originally a baby blanket, but she gives you instructions or if you want to increase it. And I just have like the baby amount right here. So I have the border. And you do some garter rows, some stockinette chevron, garter rows, then in contrasting color. So I'm really, I think this will look really good. So I bought some Knit Picks Swish, and I think this will work better for me than like the scrappy blanket. I've been having a hard time with those scrappy blankets, but anyway, I bought Swish, I believe, Swish worsted Knit Picks. This color is, oh, they don't have it on here. Oh, Squirrel Heather is the main color. Squirrel Heather, and I've got quite a few of those. And then I also bought, here, let me get all the colors. So Squirrel Heather, and then these are going to be my contrasting colors. So Marine Heather, Wonderland Heather, and then the mustard is Honey. So those are going to be my blanket. And I think the way I ordered it, I ordered enough. I think I've got like each of these Swish one, like they're 50 gram skeins and they have like 110 yards. So I've got 6 of these, so 660 yards of the main color and then 3 of each of the contrast colors. So I'm hoping that I will be able to make a significant size blanket. I wanted to make sure her blanket is like a 2-foot blanket by 3 foot or something. I think mine's going to end up being like a 3 foot. So it'll be like a lap blanket. It'll be 3 feet maybe, and hopefully longer, like by 4 feet, maybe just a little bit longer. And it's not going to be huge, but it'll just be like a little throw. I could have ordered more. Sorry, I've got fuzz on my lip. I could have ordered more yarn, and I cast this on in like many different stitches because I wanted to see, I wanted to get it big enough. Hers blanket was like 130 stitches, and the repeat it's a 16 stitch repeat plus 18. So I ended up casting on 194 stitches. So I tried doing I did like 240, and then I was pretty much at the same point I'm at here, and I was almost out of one skein of yarn. I'm like, that's not going to work so well because I only have 6 of these. So I had to back it off, and but I want it big enough. So hopefully, this one's another kind of difficult one in the garter section to see where your increases and decreases are, but I'm getting there. It's more, I don't know. It's not as mindless as I was hoping it'll be, but it's going to be a beautiful blanket. So I will keep you apprised on that. So I've been working on that a little bit. But that's pretty much what I did on Thursday was knit a bunch and then rip it out and then knit a bunch and rip it out. So I really don't have a lot to show for what I was doing on Thursday. But when I got home, I had all this yarn delivered to me. So I was like, I want to cast it on. And I had my 8s available. So there you go. That's what I'm doing. So that is that. As far as acquisitions go, I have, like I said, I bought a lot. I got my installment for my junk yarn, super women or superhero women, whatever you want to call it. And this month I was really excited about because I was wondering what she was going to do. And this month is this one. And I love it. It's so pale and pretty. This brown and taupe and then this pink little mini. And it's called Squirrel Girl. I had no idea who the heck Squirrel Girl was. I had to look her up. I was like, who is Squirrel Girl? And apparently she's been cast. They're going to do, I think she's part of the Defenders, a Marvel superhero girl. She's part of the Defenders League, I think. So I think on Netflix they're doing all those, they did like Daredevil and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and the Iron Fist, and I've enjoyed all of those, except I didn't enjoy the Iron Fist very much. I thought that one was kind of stupid. I mean, I watched a couple episodes and I didn't think it was very cool. But apparently she's part of that. So in the Marvel, on Wikipedia, because that's so accurate, they was saying that she is a mutant with, some squirrel powers. Maybe she, can fly like a flying squirrel or something, or talk to squirrels or whatever. I don't know exactly, but she's, when they draw her, she's in brown and pink. And they were saying that she is actually like Jessica Jones and Luke Cage get together in the Marvel comics, and then they have a baby, and she is the nanny for the baby. Squirrel Girl is the nanny. So I was just doing a little research because I was like, who is this girl? So, but they are maybe going to be doing a show with her in it, and I heard they cast the AT&T girl or something. I think that's what my brother said. So I don't know how he's pretty with it on all that stuff. He knows what's going on. So what I was told was that, and I could see that. But anyway, I thought that was really clever because honestly, I would have never in a million years thought of Squirrel Girl for a super woman. I think that's really ingenious of Junk Yarn to try to come up with not just your everyday heroes. And it seems like she's kind of following trend too, because Wonder Woman was very, the movie was, coming out last month or the month before, so in the summer, so that was perfect. And then, if they are doing a Defenders series with Squirrel Girl, then that's perfect too. Pretty cool. So anyway, I really liked the color. It was soft, subtle. It had this cute, I wonder if I have it in here, little acorn stitch marker. I don't know if I have it in here. I'll probably put it in my bag here. Oh, but you guys, my friend Amelia, when she sent me this bag, she sent me the cutest little magnet. Oh my gosh, look at this little magnet. Isn't he adorable? I have no idea where he's going to go, but I really like him a lot. I love, love, love. It's so textured. It's this pottery, super cute. And then she sent me a little bit of Lolo Love lotion bar stuff. It was such a sweet, sweet package to get from her. She is really amazing. So thank you, Amelia. You're amazing. Anyway, so that's that. One of the acquisitions. That's part of that club that I am involved in. I'm really excited to see the last one. Then I bought all that knit picks. So I showed you guys those knit picks worsted. But I also was enjoying knitting the Knit Picks Felici, so I ordered a couple more colorways. I ordered Punch Bug, because it's cheap and actually really soft. And despite the bit of splittiness, not bad at all. So Punch Bug, and I ordered Spring Bloom, and last one, Mint Chip. And then I ordered some Dishy because I keep, I like cotton dishcloths and I'll make them periodically, but I don't know, they get rough after a while. So people have been talking good things about the Knit Picks Dishy. So I got a couple of these. This one is just, some aquamarine variegated and some purpley variegated. And I thought I would make some just corner to corner, classic granny dishcloth or something with those, because that'll be easy and maybe fast and maybe for gifts for somebody. Who knows? So those are my yarn acquisitions. And gosh, guys, I think that's it for today. I really enjoyed being back in the swing of things with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. And let me know if you have any questions about anything, or if you want to introduce yourself in the Ravelry group, go on over there and introduce yourself. There's an Ask Me Anything thread over there, so you can ask me any questions you want, and I would be glad to answer them on the podcast. And yeah, so I'll see you guys next time. Bye.